Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Free icons, free people, and one question. What happens when a button that hides a menu also hides accessibility? A kebab, a hamburger, an ellipsis, they were designed to simplify things, but for many users, they make the web harder to see, to reach, or even to call by name. Hi, my friend. Ariel here, a software engineer, an accessibility consultant, and a blind guy, helping designers and developers see what real users experience. Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
When simplicity hides the message.
They are everywhere, and some of them are not new at all. They are small, subtle, a designer's dream. Well, designers think these icons are obvious because they are everywhere, but that isn't the same as clarity. When designers say,
users will know what that means.
what they really mean is,
I've seen it a lot, so surely everyone else has too.
in 2025's UX, designers have a lot of these icons, shorthand buttons floating around. Hamburger, kebab, ellipsis, and many others like bento, chevron, fab, and others. They differ mostly in shape and context, not in underlying problems.
Sofia and the missing menu.
Let's meet Sofia. Sofia is 62. She taught art for most of her life, but now color is what she fights against every day.
Zooming in makes those 3 dots just disappear into a blur, like ink on damp paper. I can see a shape, but not what it is.
People using magnifiers, including many older adults, experience interfaces through a keyhole. Sofia uses Windows magnifier, so she depends on what she can still see.
The tricky part is, they all just look the same. 3 little dots for settings, 3 dots for deleting, 3 dots for more. When I'm zoomed in 300%, they're just 3 little dots. I can't tell one from the other. No words, no hints at all. I'm not against keeping things simple. I just wish they'd tell me what they are. A little label, a hint, even just a single word would help.
She's right. A button that hides options shouldn't also hide its purpose. The icon may look universal, but its meaning isn't.
Brian and the button too small to touch.
Now let's meet Brian. He's 35, patient, detail-oriented. He works in software testing. After a spinal cord injury 5 years ago, he started using a head pointer to move between interfaces.
You have no idea how heavy this cursor gets when it's locked to your head. Seriously, you feel every single pixel. So when you got a bunch of buttons packed tight, I gotta aim like I'm trying to hit a tiny-ass target. It's tough.
I asked him about those famous 3 dots menus.
Ugh, don't even get me started. Those things are the bane of my existence. And designers just keep shrinking them, I swear. So you know what ends up happening? I'm hitting the wrong menu all the time. My click is off by like a millimeter, and suddenly I'm deleting.
Brian tells me he's tested hundreds of interfaces labeled accessible. Checkboxes, modals, sliders. Most of them work decently with the head pointer. But these hidden icon menus almost never.
So if I actually click the thing, the menu just shows up way out in left field, nowhere I can reach. I gotta reset my whole pointer. It's like the button's messing with me, like it's saying, "Congrats, dummy, now you're back at square one."
For him, distance isn't just physical, it's cognitive. Every pixel of travel takes time, effort, and focus.
I'm telling you, devs should be forced to try it. Just 10 minutes. See how they feel trying to hit one of those tiny-ass buttons just by moving their head.
Jade and the button with no name.
Finally, let's meet Jade. She is 28. She's a content creator. A few years ago, repetitive strain injuries made it impossible for her to type or use a mouse. Now, her entire digital life runs on voice commands.
I always joke that me and my computer are dating, but wow, communication is not our strong suit. When I spot a button with 3 little dots, I know something good's hiding there. Like, the real juicy options. But if I say click menu, nothing. Open options, still nada. All because the button's got no name. Classic.
Exactly. Voice control systems depend entirely on accessible names, and so do screen readers. So when the screen only shows an icon button, whether it's a hamburger, kebab, or ellipsis, the command vocabulary immediately collapses.
It's kind of funny. My voice can scroll, zoom, even snap screenshots. But opening a menu with 3 dots? Nope. Nobody bothered to tell the system what to call it.
I ask if she can at least find out what the name is when she focuses the button.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I gotta get there first just to hear it. It's like asking someone for directions to a place you can't even get to until you're already there.
That one sentence hits hard. Discovery is supposed to come before action, but for voice users, it's often the other way around. Voice users can explore and remember names. That's their main strategy. But while memorizing accessible names is possible, it's mentally demanding, especially when interfaces repeat vague labels like
more options
or
edit.
And honestly, even if I knew it was called more options, how am I supposed to remember which more goes with which section? Every app calls it something totally different.
Design systems love metaphors, kebabs, meatballs, hamburgers, but users need names, not recipes. There we have 3 stories. Sofia's fear of guessing, Brian's struggle for precision, Jade's silent conversation with unnamed buttons. 3 people, 3 barriers, and all of them hidden behind symbols.
When guidelines fall short.
When you combine invisible labels, tiny hit areas, and inconsistent iconography, the interface becomes nearly unusable for voice command users. Users with limited fine motor control, users of head or eye tracking devices, low vision and cognitive users relying on visual predictability. In WCAG terms, it violates 2.5.5 target size. The hit area isn't large enough. 2.1.1 keyboard and 2.5.7 dragging movements of a no equivalent non-pointer path. 4.1.2 name role value. Even if coded correctly, the discoverability of the label is effectively zero, and the broader principles of perceivable, operable, and understandable.
Metaphors that betray meaning.
Iconography doesn't work like language. It's not universal. It's learned convention, and conventions differ across ecosystems, ages, and cultures.
Designing clarity back in.
So how do we fix something so small? We can start by giving it what it's missing: context.
Beyond icons with progressive disclosure.
If your design hides actions behind an icon, that could be progressively disclosed. For example, the first time someone opens your app, don't show just the dots. Show the word menu. Later, once the pattern is clear, you can safely collapse it into an icon alone.
Designing for clarity.
Another idea is visual cues. A kebab icon on its own looks abstract, but pair it with a downward arrow, and suddenly the meaning is clear.
Giving the button a name.
For users like Jade, and for all screen reader users, the button must have an accessible name. As a developer, you have two primary ways of doing this. One, using an ARIA label that provides an accessible name to assistive technology and won't be seen on screen. Two, use visually hidden text.
Less button. ARIA label equals more options greater. Less SVG. ARIA hidden equals true greater less slash SVG greater. Less span. Class equals visually hidden greater. More options. Less slash span greater. Less slash button greater.
Why is this better? Because voice control users can sometimes see that hidden text and use it like a command. And if the CSS fails to load, the text simply appears, making the button work for everyone.
Spacing and predictability.
For pointer and head control users, spacing and predictability are key. A minimum of 44 by 44 CSS pixels isn't just a WCAG recommendation, it's survival space. And if the menu opens, make sure it opens near the trigger. Consistency is what turns a metaphor into muscle memory.
Small buttons, big barriers.
The next time you add one of those free icons, ask yourself, what happens when the dots disappear? Will users still know what they can do? Can they still reach it, name it, or call it with their voice? Because behind those buttons might be the next message, the next photo, the next paycheck. And if a person can't get there, the issue isn't their ability, it's our design. This was another episode of Web Accessibility for All. If you enjoyed it, share it with someone who designs buttons every day. You might help them see that what feels small under the cursor can mean the world under someone's finger or voice. See you next one. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.